Have you ever imagined a sales team that doesn't just work harder, but works, well, smarter? Adapting in real time, personalizing every single interaction, and maybe delivering growth that feels almost impossible.
Like a team powered by AI.
Exactly, but not just any AI. We're talking a fully integrated, collaborative digital workforce driving your entire B2B sales cycle. It might sound a bit like science fiction, maybe.
Yeah, but it's really happening now. It's becoming today's reality. Fast.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a really close look at multi-agent AI operating systems for B2B sales. And like you said, this isn't just about using, a single AI tool to automate one little task.
No, this is the next frontier. It's
Okay.
a powerful new paradigm. It promises to fundamentally reshape how businesses actually generate revenue.
So our mission for this deep dive.
It's really to unpack what this revolutionary system is and how it fundamentally differs from the traditional AI tools many of us might, already be using.
And the specific components too, right? What makes it tick.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And also its profound implications for human roles within organizations. And maybe most importantly, why understanding it isn't just interesting. It's becoming a strategic imperative.
For any business leader, really, or just anyone curious who wants to stay ahead.
Definitely.
And we've got some incredibly rich, detailed source material to guide us here. We're talking cutting-edge insights, practical applications. It paints a pretty vivid picture of this hyper-efficient, always-on digital sales force you mentioned.
Yeah, the sources are great. Let's really get into it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So to kick us off, let's try and wrap our heads around the seismic shift. When we talk about a multi-agent AI operating system for B2B sales, what are we truly talking about?
Yeah, and how's it different from those, individual AI tools companies might have already dabbled with?
Exactly.
Well, the striking thing is we're moving beyond simple automation. A multi-agent AI OS for B2B sales it's an integrated ecosystem.
An ecosystem, okay.
Yeah, think of it like a highly coordinated team where specialized AI agents collaborate seamlessly across the entire sales cycle.
So like a digital workforce, basically, always on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hyper-efficient, always-on digital workforce. That's a good way to put it.
And the key distinction then is this idea of a team. Because I think many of us are used to AI that just automates one specific thing, right? Like drafting one email or scoring one lead.
Precisely. Traditional AI automates those isolated tasks. An AIOS, however, it orchestrates a team of expert agents.
Okay.
It mimics a high-performing human sales organization. You've got agents acting as researchers, strategists, writers, outreach specialists.
Wow.
But they do it with AI speed, scale, and data processing power. And the synergy, it's led to some pretty astounding performance gains.
How astounding.
Well, we're seeing early adopters report up to a seven-fold increase in conversion rates.
Sevenfold. Wow. Okay, that's not just incremental improvement.
No, not at all. It's truly a disruptive advantage.
That's the kind of payoff that gets everyone's attention, definitely. But it also makes me wonder, what's the catch? It can't be as simple as just like plug and play, can it?
No, you're right.
What's the biggest barrier companies face in actually getting that kind of leap?
That's a really good question. And you're right, it's not plug and play. The biggest barrier often isn't the technology itself. It's more the organizational maturity and, crucially, the data readiness.
Data again.
Always data. Many companies just lack the unified, clean data needed to feed these systems effectively. I mean, it fundamentally reshapes go-to-market economics, sure, but only if you have that foundational data infrastructure in place.
Okay, so we're building an AI dream team for sales, but it sounds like it needs a really solid foundation. Let's dig into that foundation then. What are the actual players, the core components?
Right. So at the heart of it are the agents themselves.
Okay.
These are autonomous or semi-autonomous entities. Each one has a distinct role, a persona, specific goal.
Like little digital specialists.
Exactly. And crucially, a large language model, an LLM, typically serves as the brain for each individual agent.
Wait, so each agent has its own LLM brain. That sounds powerful.
It is very powerful.
And how do these individual agents actually do things? Do they just think? How do they, act in the real world?
Good question. They interact with the external world through what we call tools.
Tools, yeah.
Yeah, tool is just a specific capability or function, like performing a web search, querying an internal database, or maybe making calls to external APIs.
Got it.
These tools are how agents gather information or execute actions. It lets them perform their functions.
All right, so you have these smart agents, each with its brain and its tools. But how do they all stay on the same page? How do they work together effectively without, I don't know, descending into digital chaos. That sounds like it could get messy fast.
No, it could. And that's where the unified data layer comes in. And honestly, it's arguably the most critical and often underestimated component.
Really? More critical than the agents themselves.
In many ways, yes. Think of it like the central nervous system, or the single source of truth for the entire sales operation.
Or,
It's a centralized data warehouse, or maybe a lakehouse, that integrates data from all over your enterprise. Your CRM, ERP, product info, internal knowledge bases,
that's everything.
everything. It provides the ground truth and the business context that grounds the agent's actions and decisions. It prevents confusion, ensures they act on accurate, up-to-date information.
So it keeps everyone singing from the same hymn sheet, basically.
Exactly. And the real insight here is realizing that data hygiene is actually a strategic asset, not just some IT chore.
Right.
Without this unified, clean data, you're not just confused, you're effectively blind to emerging patterns that could unlock new revenue or, preempt churn.
So it's not just clean data, it's about enabling like predictive intelligence and strategic vision. That really changes how you think about data hygiene.
You really should.
And then beyond the data, how do they actually communicate, coordinate? What's the playbook for this AI team?
Right, the playbook. Think of it like the blueprint for a complex building, or the playbook for a high-performing sports team. We call them architectural patterns and communication protocols.
Okay.
These are the fundamental rules. How agents know who to talk to, when, what information to share. It ensures they don't just think, but truly work together in a structured, efficient flow.
This sounds completely transformative. So what does this all mean for the human sales professional? Are we talking about a future where humans are just, replaced by these AI teams? Or is it something else?
It's something else. What's really fascinating here is that implementing an AI sales OS, it isn't just a tech deployment. It's actually a catalyst
A catalyst for what?
for organizational redesign,
Yeah.
for profound process optimization. The very act of having to codify the art of the sale for AI agents, it forces businesses to clarify all those implicit processes.
Things people just know how to do.
Exactly. And that invariably exposes inefficiencies. It leads to significant improvements across the whole revenue organization, sometimes even before the AI really starts pulling its weight.
So just the act of building it makes your existing human processes better, streamlines things. That's a huge benefit in itself.
It absolutely is.
And then for the human roles within sales, how do they evolve?
Well, for human sales professionals, it means a profound evolution of their roles. A liberation, you might even say.
Liberation? How so?
Well, AI agents handle the repetitive stuff, the administrative tasks, the data-intensive work, which surprisingly can eat up to 80% of the seller's time.
80%. That's huge.
It is. So this frees humans to focus on the truly high-value activities. Strategic relationship management, complex problem solving, exercising nuanced emotional intelligence, things AI can't do as well.
That vision of human liberation sounds incredibly appealing, I have to say. But let me play devil's advocate for a second. Does this also create new pressures or maybe skill gaps for sales pros?
That's fair. Are there downsides?
Yeah, like maybe a loss of intuition if AI handles too much, or new demands for supervising the AI itself.
That's an important point. While it's liberating, it absolutely shifts the required skill set. Sales professionals will need to become more adept at leveraging and supervising AI,
Okay.
interpreting its outputs, knowing when to step in with that human touch. The intuition won't be lost, I don't think. It'll just be redirected
Redirected where?
to higher level strategy, to complex negotiations where AI can't yet replicate human nuance. The real insight here is by offloading the what, we empower humans to master the why and the who.
Why and who?
Yeah, creating client relationships so deeply rooted in trust and strategic value that they become, virtually impossible for competitors to replicate, even with their own AI.
So AI handles the grunt work, humans focus on building trust, solving big problems, becoming more strategic. Makes sense.
Exactly.
And what about the sales leaders? How do their roles change when they're managing this kind of hybrid team of humans and AI?
Human sales leaders evolve too. They become orchestrators of these hybrid human-AI workforces.
Orchestrators. I like that.
Yeah, they act as supervisors, strategic advisors, guiding their combined human and digital teams. They focus on the overall strategy, ensuring the AI is aligned with business goals rather than, micromanaging individual tasks.
That's a powerful vision. Okay, let's get even more specific. What kind of specialized AI agents are we actually talking about here? Can you give us a glimpse into this AI Salesforce, like who's on the team?
Absolutely. The system employs a whole roster of agents, right?
Hmm.
Each designed for a specific part of the sales life cycle. Think of them as hyper-specialized individual contributors.
Okay, start us at the very top. The intelligence gathering, the initial
Right,
reconnaissance.
that's the intelligence division. First up, you have the prospector agent.
Okay.
This is like a tireless market researcher, finds target accounts, contacts, using firmographic, technographic data, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then there's the data enrichment agent. This one appends critical details, verifies emails, cleans CRM data for accuracy. Super important for that unified data layer we talked about.
Crucial.
And then, what's really impactful, I think, is the intent and signal monitoring agent.
Ooh, what does that do?
It tracks real-time buying signals, things like website visits, job changes, funding rounds.
Ah, so it tells you who's actually interested now.
Exactly. It helps the sales team focus on those actively in-market accounts,
Hmm.
turns passive observation into actionable intelligence.
That intent and signal monitoring agent. Wow, that sounds like it could dramatically change how sales teams prioritize their time. Can you give us an example? Like, how might a real-time signal actually alter a sales strategy on the fly?
Yeah, sure. Imagine your sales team has, say, a list of 100 potential accounts they're thinking about.
Okay.
Suddenly, the intent agent flags that 5 of them just got a significant funding round. And maybe their website shows spikes in visits to your pricing page. That real-time signal immediately tells the GTM strategist agent, another agent we'll get to prioritize outreach to those 5 accounts. It shifts resources away from less active prospects.
So your human reps are engaging the most promising leads right now, not wasting time?
Exactly. Right people, right time.
That's incredibly powerful. Okay, what about once you're engaging them? Maybe with proposals or detailed content.
Right, that falls under the proposal and content division. Here, the RFP intake and analysis agent is key. It parses complex RFP documents, extracts the questions, requirements.
Tedious work.
Oh, incredibly tedious. And it creates a structured compliance matrix automatically. Then, probably one of the most critical agents in an enterprise setting is the knowledge retrieval agent.
Knowledge retrieval.
Yeah, powered by Retrieval Augmented Generation, or AG.
RAG. Okay, heard that term.
It intelligently searches your internal knowledge bases, your company's brain, for pre-approved answers for proposals.
Like from past RFPs or security docs.
Exactly. Past RFPs, security documentation, SOC2 reports, product specs. It ensures every response is accurate and consistent with your company's official information. It's huge.
So it's like having an always-on, perfectly accurate research assistant for every single proposal, pulling from trusted company knowledge. That's a massive win for consistency and speed.
Absolutely. Then the RFP response drafter agent takes all that info and assembles the first draft of the proposal. Saves countless hours.
I bet.
And finally, the personalization and content agent crafts hyper-personalized email copy and outreach messaging. Ensures every touch point feels, one-to-one,
Yeah.
tailored specifically to the prospect.
Huge time saver, huge personalization driver.
Ugh.
Okay, what about the actual outreach? The nurturing, getting those meetings booked?
That's the engagement division. The outreach orchestration agent executes multi-channel sequences. Email, LinkedIn, maybe even chat.
And adapts.
Yeah, it adapts based on how the prospect engages. And then my personal favorite, for anyone who's ever endured those endless email chains trying to find a meeting times.
Oh, tell me.
The meeting scheduler agent. It interacts directly with prospects to automatically negotiate and schedule meeting times.
No way.
Yes way.
Yeah.
It eliminates all that back and forth. My calendar and my sanity thank that agent in advance.
Oh my goodness, that would be a game changer for so many sales professionals. I want one now.
Okay, finally, what about the big picture? The operations, the strategy, keeping the whole engine running smoothly.
Right, that's handled by the operations and strategy division. Think of it as the command center for the whole system.
Okay.
You've got the GTM strategist agent. It analyzes campaign performance data in real time to optimize the overall sales strategy.
Constantly improving.
Constantly. Then you have the CRM hygiene agent. So important, it automatically logs activities, enriches records, cleans up data within the CRM.
Because clean data is...
The lifeblood. Clean data is the lifeblood of any AI system. We keep saying it because it's true.
Got it. And finally, the compliance agent. This one ensures adherence to data privacy regulations, GDPR, CCPA, all that, and also monitors for algorithm bias. It's like the system's ethical and regulatory guardian.
That's a serially comprehensive team. Okay, so we have these specialized agents. They're all collaborating. How do they actually do that collaboration? What are the architectural patterns that let them work together so seamlessly? I imagine it's more complex than just like a simple chat group.
You're absolutely right. It's much more structured. The way agents connect, interact, coordinate, that defines the system's architecture.
Mm.
Think of it like the blueprint for that complex project or the playbook for the sports team again.
Okay.
One common pattern is the hierarchical model, sometimes called orchestrator worker.
Orchestrator work.
Yeah, here you have a central orchestrator agent. It decomposes a high-level task into subtasks and delegates them to specialized worker agents.
Right.
The workers execute their tasks, report results back to the orchestrator, who then aggregates the output, puts it all together.
So like, imagine a general contractor on a construction site. That's your orchestrator.
Perfect analogy.
They break down the big job, building the house, into smaller tasks, then delegate to specialists, plumbers, electricians, roofers. Those are the worker agents.
Exactly. And this hierarchical model gives you strong, centralized control. It's ideal for well-defined, structured processes
Yeah.
where you need high consistency and compliance.
Like that RFP response generation you mentioned.
Precisely, where accuracy and following specific formats are absolutely paramount.
Okay, so that's for highly structured tasks. What about more fluid stuff? Exploratory work where the path isn't so clear-cut.
Good question. For that, you'd likely use a decentralized model, sometimes called graph-based or network model.
Decentralized, okay.
In this model, agents interact more freely, like nodes in a network. There's no single top-down controller.
How does that work then?
Well, the control flow can be explicit, meaning a predefined sequence or dynamic, where maybe a supervisor LLM decides the next agent based on the real-time state of the task. It allows for more emergent adaptive behavior. So it's suitable for complex exploratory tasks like open-ended market research or identifying new strategic opportunities. It's more like a brainstorming session.
Right, where different experts jump in and the conversation kind of evolves dynamically.
Exactly. One is more like that structured assembly line. The other is more like a free-flowing brainstorm.
That's a helpful way to think about it. Is it usually one or the other?
Not necessarily. Critically, in a production-grade AI sales OS, you'll often see a hybrid approach.
Mixing them.
Yeah, combining hierarchical structures for maybe regulated processes with dynamic decentralized models for intelligence gathering or strategic analysis. And this modularity isn't just a technical convenience. No, it's a strategic enabler. It allows for rapid iteration, future-proofing the sales organization against, technological shifts down the road.
That makes perfect sense. It sounds a lot like how modern software development works with microservices.
Yeah.
Where you have small independent pieces working together. Is that a good analogy?
It's a perfect analogy. Just as microservices decompose a big application to small, independently deployable services,
Right.
a multi-agent system decomposes a complex business process into autonomous decoupled agents. And this architecture yields huge benefits.
Like what?
Scalability, flexibility. You can deploy more instances of one agent if needed. Resilience, fault tolerance. One agent failing doesn't crash the whole system. Maintainability. Independent development teams can improve one agent without disrupting others.
So you're building for agility and robustness.
Exactly that.
Fascinating. Okay, so for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, this isn't just hype, I need to build one of these for my organization, what's the builder's blueprint? What essential skills do you actually need in your team? And what does a project walkthrough look like, from prototype to production?
Right. Building a production-grade AI sales OS, it definitely requires a unique blend of expertise. You need strong foundational software and data engineering skills, definitely.
The basics.
The basics, yeah. Plus advanced AI and large language model development capabilities. And then that really specialized production-grade data engineering to manage that critical unified data layer we keep coming back to.
Okay. Can you give us a sense of the technical skills needed, but maybe focus more on the type of skills rather than just a long list of specific product names?
Absolutely. So you need robust software engineering skills, right, to build the back-end infrastructure that supports these agents.
Makes sense.
Expertise in cloud computing, AWS, GCP, Azure, whatever that's essential to scale effectively, handle demand.
Right.
Deep knowledge of how to integrate AI with your company's unique proprietary data. That's paramount, especially through techniques like RAG retrieval augmented generation.
That RAG thing again.
Sounds critical.
It's arguably the single most important technical skill, yeah. Ground the AI in your specific knowledge base. And of course, understanding and leveraging the new specialized frameworks designed specifically for building these multi-agent systems. Things like Crew AI, LangGraph. Those will be key. Okay, so that's the tech side. What about beyond the coding? The art side of things, the softer skill.
Right. There's the art of prompt engineering.
Mm-hmm.
That's the craft of designing effective instructions, managing context for the LLMs, especially in these long-running complex tasks.
Getting the AI to do what you want.
Essentially, yeah. But beyond that, you need those vital soft skills. Strong problem-solving abilities, obviously.
Yeah.
Strategic thinking, translating high-level business goals into concrete technical systems.
Bridging the gap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And excellent communication collaboration to work effectively across diverse business and technical teams. It really is about bridging that gap between what the business needs and what the tech can deliver.
So how do you actually go from this abstract idea to a working integrated system? What are the phases like?
It typically starts with prototyping.
Okay.
This is all about speed, quick validation. You might use a lightweight framework like Crew AI to build a simple multi-agent crew for, say, prospect research, maybe just in a few hours. Yeah, for a basic prototype. This demonstrates tangible value to stakeholders early on, helps refine the problem definition.
Okay, so you've got a prototype, showing it works for a small use case, but that's not production ready, is it? What's the next big step, the heavy lifting?
That's enterprise integration. And yeah, this is often the most complex, most critical phase.
Why is that?
Well, the immediate challenge is connecting to your existing CRM. If you're using something like Salesforce, it involves robust API integration, reading data, writing data, creating leads, updating records, logging activities.
Standard stuff, but maybe tricky.
Can be. And a common hurdle here is navigating legacy systems, older databases, custom-built stuff.
Yeah.
That often means building wrapper APIs or maybe adopting a phased modernization approach.
Right, and this is where data quality becomes paramount again, I imagine. Garbage in, garbage out, times 7 or more.
Exactly. Data within legacy CRMs is frequently, well, messy, inconsistent, duplicated. Before any AI integration, rigorous data cleaning and validation is mandatory, non-negotiable.
Because feeding bad data.
Dooms the project before it even starts. Simple as that. You also need to establish that robust knowledge hub for ARG we talked about, setting up vector databases, building ingestion pipelines to get your internal docs, your proprietary knowledge into the system so the AI can actually use it.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, once it's integrated, how do you get it out into the world? Ensure it actually works consistently at scale.
All right. That's deployment, monitoring, and scaling. You might use serverless functions for simpler event-triggered agents, or maybe containerized services like Docker or Kubernetes for more complex, long-running systems.
And monitoring.
Crucially, production-grade monitoring is non-negotiable. You have to track agent performance, token usage, costs. Very important. And you need to log the chain of thought.
The chain of thought.
Yeah, the detailed reasoning process of each agent. You need that for debugging, for auditing, for continuous improvement. This level of deep observability is really a key feature of proper enterprise platforms.
Wow. This journey, from a single AI tool to a fully orchestrated multi-agent operating system, it truly represents a fundamental evolution in how businesses approach sales.
It really does.
It's not just automating tasks anymore. It's building an intelligent, scalable, autonomous digital workforce that operates with a completely new level of efficiency and personalization.
And this agentic approach, it's not just a fleeting trend, Industry analyses, firms like Gartner, McKinsey, they're predicting that by 2028, a significant majority of B2B buyer and seller interactions will be mediated through digital and AI-driven channels.
A significant majority by 2028.
Yeah, this future promises to redefine the boundaries of efficiency, personalization, freeing human talent from that repetitive labor and elevating their roles to new strategic heights.
So for the human professional, this isn't about job replacement. It's really profound human empowerment, isn't it?
That's the core idea.
AI agents handle the administrative stuff, the data-intensive repetitive tasks, which, as we heard, can consume up to 80% of a seller's time.
Exactly. This liberates humans, lets them focus on the uniquely human aspects of sales, building deep, trust-based relationships, navigating complex organizational politics, engaging in strategic problem-solving, exercising that nuanced emotional intelligence.
The stuff AI struggles with.
Precisely. The AI Sales OS handles the what and the how, freeing the human to master the why and the who. It's about leveraging technology to enable unparalleled human effectiveness.
So for you, our listener, mastering this blend, This mix of advanced software engineering, data architecture, applied AI, it really positions you at the vanguard of this technological revolution.
Yeah, the ability to design, build, govern a system that directly drives revenue and operational efficiency, that's the hallmark of a strategic technology leader today.
These are exactly the skills required for those impactful roles we hear about, right? Like Director of AI or VP of AI and data products.
Absolutely. These leaders aren't just technical experts anymore, they're strategists, responsible for aligning AI initiatives with core business objectives, demonstrating clear, measurable ROI. They're shaping the future of how businesses operate.
So, as you look at your own career trajectory and the rapidly changing landscape of work, here's something to think about. How will you leverage these new AI capabilities? How will you use them to transcend the administrative tasks and become an indispensable strategic advisor? Not just shaping the future of sales, but shaping your own future along with it. That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the future of B2B sales.